Hey guys, I'm drawing Rapunzel again. So every year around late December, early January, I like to draw Rapunzel. And it's just a good way for me to, track my progress that I've made over the year. And I've done this is now the 4th year, I believe, so it's 4 years of progress, 5 separate drawings of Rapunzel. It's just a lot of Rapunzel, but I never get sick of drawing her because she is just such an amazing character that I just absolutely love. And her movie it got me into Disney after a long spot of not really caring for princess movies. So she means a lot to me, and I love that I get to redraw her every year. And of course, I'll have a link, and you can see all these separate speed paints of me drawing Rapunzel and watch me progress over the last 4 years. Holy cow. Some of them are a little, and some of them are more fun, but I am very, very happy to share this year's with you. This could also be considered, the Draw This Again challenge. So either way, I definitely encourage you to try it out too, because it's just a really fun way to experiment with your style by drawing something that you've previously have, as well as just seeing how much better you've gotten in a year. And I definitely recommend it for anyone. So find something you drew like over a year ago and try and redraw it. It's a blast. Anyway, I'm on the line art now, and I struggled a lot with her eyes, which is very strange because eyes are something that I've been comfortable with for a while. But there was one thing about them that I've kind of realized I don't like anymore, and it's that when I draw eyelashes, they always point outward, out of the face. So even if you're looking to the left, I'll have the eyelashes and they'll always point away from each other, even though if you're looking to the left, which Disney gets this perfect, they have the rounded eyelashes on the top and the rounded eyelashes on the bottom, and they always face the same way the eye is looking. Well, not the eye, but the face is looking. They always face the right way that the face is looking, and that's not something I do. So I thought, I'll try that. This time I will try to add proper eyelashes to my drawings. But it was just not working. I don't have enough practice with it, so I was like, this is supposed to be more of a representation of my style as it has progressed in the last year, so I went back to what I'm comfortable with, and I'm happy with it. I think I'm getting pretty good at drawing it. Even though it's not realistic, it's still my style, and I've gotten pretty good at it to the point where it looks pretty okay, depending on which way the face is looking, so I'm still happy with that. And this is my favorite part of the whole thing, is these laces. I decided to put a little extra time in and get it to be, much more, what would it be? It's just busier, but it's also elegant, and it's just so cool. I just really, really like it. And that's definitely something that I've gotten better with over the last year, just by drawing a lot more than I ever have before, and by spending more time on things. Like, I used to get so lazy. Like, I'd be like, well, I drew that, want to draw something else, and I'm not even done yet. So I've gotten a lot better at being much more patient with my art, and that is something that I've struggled with for a very long time. So the fact that I'm even saying that means a lot to me, and my younger self is just like, wow, you did it! Congratulations! And I'm just like, it's all right. You put in the work, younger me. It was you, so... Anyway, I'm doing the liner, and you can see this is just the part where I spent a lot of time, but I actually did spend a lot of time shading and everything else too. So this was a very long speed paint, kind of like my Moana one where I just drew Moana. I put a lot of time into that, and I'm just happy with it, It's difficult for an artist to get to a point where they're happy with something that they make, and even when I am happy with it, like my Moana picture and this picture as well, I didn't do a background, so I'm not like 100% proud of myself, but I'm very happy with where my art is going, and I know that this is not the end for me, and I will get better in the future, and there will be a time when I'll start working on those backgrounds, and I have started working on the backgrounds, don't get me wrong, I'm just not at a comfortable place with them. So, no matter how great you get in your art, and I'm by no means great yet, you're getting better all the time. And there may be days when it doesn't feel like you're getting better, but you are, trust me, you're learning lessons. Even when it feels like your art sucks, you're learning something, and you're going to use that to progress in the future, even when you don't feel like it. Anyway, I'm getting it's not really off topic, but I do want to talk about this picture because I am kind of happy with it, and I like the lantern. Turned out very, very well. It looks kind of like one of the ones in the movies. I definitely used a lot of references for this picture, which again really helps with your art. It's going to look 10 times better when you use a reference, but it can also be difficult when you are using reference not to just copy it, so you have to find a happy medium and I don't know if I don't know how to describe how to do that, but I think I've sort of found it within myself how often I need to look at a reference and how often not to, because when you get really caught up in the details, you're just looking at the reference and then looking at your own art, and then you're comparing it, and then your art just looks like crap compared to the reference you're using from the movie, and it's just like, whew, you need to be, you need to have a safe medium, and I don't know how to describe that, so just try to be aware of it, and maybe you'll be able to figure it out on your own. But here I am coloring in her hair. I think it was last year's. I did a much more dirty blonde color for her hair, but in the movie it's much more of a golden blonde, so I definitely wanted to go back to the golden blonde for this because I wasn't really happy with that from last year. And here I am adding all these flowers. I decided to do it on a separate layer. Some of the flowers were in the line art layer, which were the more detailed flowers. But here when I'm going in, she has a lot of, I don't know what the flowers are called, but it's like, it almost looks like a fuzz. It's like just a white fuzz, and it's got little green stems. I went in with a separate layer for that, with a layer style on that had a stroke that was very similar to the hair color, so it's not really overpowering, so it still looks like it's part of the same layer. And I just added the color in, so I was like green stem, and then I'd add little white flowers, poke, 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 and I really liked the way that came out, so it looks more detailed again. And it didn't have to be super detailed because they're like little flowers that are like really dinky on her hair. So the fact that I didn't have to put a whole lot of work, but it still looks pretty cool, that makes me happy. Whenever you can get away with something and it still looks great, yeah, do it. Anyway, I added a ton of detail to her corset because the reference I was looking at, you could sort of see it. And I was like, oh, I can't just not do that because it looks like it'll look so awesome. And it did. I love the way that turned out. It took me forever. Like, this is really, really sped up. Don't think this is how fast I draw. Like, when I decide to add a pattern to, like, the corset, that's like an hour right there. Okay, that's an exaggeration. It's not an hour. But it's just definitely, like, a detour. So you, like, see yourself finishing the drawing, and then you're like, I'm going to add all these details to her corset. It's like taking the dirt road that, like, spins around a couple times and then goes back onto the highway that you were heading on previously. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe it does. I didn't explain it. But anyway, here I am coloring in her lace, so I had to change the color of the background so that I could see where the lace was going because it is a very light color. And I also added, I didn't mention it, but a lot of shading to her dress because I noticed in the references her dress is almost a shiny material, so I really tried to capture that fabric because every other time I think I've ever drawn it wasn't shiny, so that was definitely something new. And here I am adding in the color on the lantern. And I actually added some shading to her that I couldn't tell how much I wanted, how much I didn't. And someone actually mentioned this to me before. And I know I do it. But I like to take the shading off when I put it on my end slate. And it's just because I feel like if you're going to have the shading, you need the background. So when I stick it on my end slate, like I do right here, I prefer it to just fit in with that. So anyway, this is my finished illustration without the shading, but I slowed down the time so you could see the shading earlier, so hopefully that worked out. Anyway, make sure you can check out some of my other videos, including my old drawings of Rapunzel, to watch my progress. Let me know what you guys have improved with over the year, and I'll see you guys in the new year. Isn't that exciting? I hope everyone has a delicious 2017 full of waffles. Bye!